Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show. Home improvement and maintenance tips from the pros.
Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show Action Edition, where we feature feedback from you, our listeners. And I'm here with my old buddy Larry. Larry, what you been doing?
Johnny, I've been scrolling around through the Facebook groups. You know, there's all kinds of handyman Facebook groups out there. We saw one that we drew attention to, both you and I. It had a whole lot of responses to this one. I mean, tons. And this was about retightening your garage door tensioner. These are the round spring tensioners, right?
Yeah, that's the torsion ones.
Torsion. They're called torsion springs.
Yeah, it's like a what can you say? It's like a mouse trap, if you will.
Yes.
It's like those kind of springs.
And you spring. It's not the ones with the springs on the sides of the
doors.
No,
not those. No.
So we read through, probably 50 responses to this, and I would say that the responses were mixed. Everything from, it's easy, just do it, just go ahead and do it, to my brother-in-law's dead because of it, kind of thing. And we're calling this a cautionary tale. This is one, as John told me this one. He said, somebody said, just watch a YouTube video, you can do it. And John, my illustrious partner, says, you can watch a video on how to fly a 747, but it doesn't mean you can go out and do it, right? So I thought that was really one of the things. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about a torsion bar tensioner, Johnny. Can we just give them a little bit of a background so they understand exactly what it is and how it works?
Well, every garage door, as you know, they're heavy, right? So if you don't have some way of an assist to lift them up, they're going to be impossible to lift up by themselves. So you have to have some kind of a counterbalance, if you will. And so if you think about a weight on one side of anything that you're like a seesaw. And it's easy, if you have a counterbalance on the other side of the seesaw, how easy it is to go up and down.
Yes.
Well, garage doors use springs to have that effect, right? And it's kind of that counterbalance system that they have. There's a couple of different systems. So you'll see the two classic ones are the torsion springs that are wound up in the front. And then you'll see the other springs that are along the sides of the rails of the garage door rides on. And we're talking about the one in the front. These are extremely dangerous if not done right. And they really need to be wound. They have to be pre-wound. There has to be a preload on those things. And they have to, if you've never done it, call a professional, please.
Yeah.
I see so many, but they have, so this thing is a steel shaft, right? Goes around a steel shaft. They have two big cable drums on both sides, and you'll see these things, now that I'm describing it, if you don't already know. And it mounts on the front of that, the header, if you will, of the front of the garage inside.
And how they work is you wind them like a clock spring, and you wind them up tight, really, really tight. In fact, you need.
Well, there's a certain amount. That's correct. There's a certain amount that you do wind them.
Correct.
You're correct.
And you actually use a torsion bar, which is effectively a giant lever that you put into these things. And when I mean these are good 2 feet long, so that's how much pressure we're talking about. To give you where the things go wrong, they're held with set screws, so you have to crank these things down. And if you let go of that torsion bar when it's in there, either somebody's going to get hurt or a steel bar is just going to go flying right through the side of your garage, because they push that stuff out with immense force. And if you're in the way, it does not discriminate. So it doesn't care if you're there or not, and you can get very seriously hurt by doing this. This is one of those jobs, it's kind of like electrical work. If you're not comfortable with this job, don't even attempt it and call the professional. And when I say comfortable, I mean you've got to know where to stand. You've got to know how many winds you need to turn this thing down. You have to be able to tighten up that set screw, because the same thing will happen. That set screw lets loose, that bad boy will be gonzo. And then the other thing that can happen is that spring can actually break, and that can cause injury to you as well. So this is a tale of extreme caution. This is a mechanical device that uses an immense amount of force to wind it, and if you're not careful and you don't know what you're doing, it's one of those ones I say to people, don't attempt. It's just not something that, if you're not comfortable with it, don't do it, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And just as we started out here, it's just it's a little more difficult, okay, and dangerous to watch a YouTube video. And I'm not saying that that's not an idea, okay, but in my opinion, if there are certain things that you need to have to be trained on, that you just don't go and watch something and go and do something, and work on this on a garage door, for instance, like that. So yeah, do yourself a favor and get a professional out there to fix that garage door. So I'm not an expert on those torsion springs, and I wouldn't touch it. I'd have somebody else come out and do it.
Yep. And that's sort of, we hope that we're maybe trusted professionals in some of the things, and if this is stuff we won't handle, I'll leave it up to you, right? Out there.
Yeah. I mean, when I see those things, I kind of veer away from them. I'll fix other types, the springs on the side where I know I can get them relaxed.
Yeah.
But those torsion ones, it's like, no, sorry.
You're winding incredible pressure, and I've done them.
I don't even want to be around them.
Yeah, I've done them, and I'll tell you, it makes me nervous. I've also had one that I heard break. I was actually using the garage door, and it broke. And that's enough to scare the living daylights out of you. It sounds like a shotgun blast. Boom!
You better believe it. So, anyways, I ran across that we ran across that on on one of the boards out there, and just wanted to address that.
Yeah, we thought it was kind of appropriate to address it. All right, with that, folks, check out our website, handymanprosradioshow.com. You can subscribe to our newsletter there. We do have a Facebook group. Again, we do a lot of this stuff. That's at Handyman Pros on Facebook, or you can always send us an email, questions at handymanprosradioshow.com or handymanprosradioshow@gmail.com. Either way, you will get a message to us. And please spread the news about the Handyman Pros Radio Show. Send your neighbors a link. Send anybody that might have any bit of interest in it as it goes, and we will see you next week on the Handyman Pros Radio Show.